I think moving to the next module, which is about how do you get your first 1,000 customers for B2C startups, which is what are the top 10 acquisition channels for your first stage growth. This is the hardest phase. We can build a great customer profile, but even then getting the first few customers is usually the hardest phase that most startups face, and most startups actually give up during this phase, not having achieved or crossed the threshold of the first few initial customers. So the first one is find out places where your audience spends time online or offline. This flows in from the ideal customer profile.
Knowing your customer.
Absolutely. A good example is how Revolut started. Revolut actually used to engage with people on different forums, such as Quora, and used to reply to customers talking about personal finance, fintech, or travel expenses, or they would share insights, answer questions, and then eventually offer Revolut as a solution, which was really engaging directly with the customers and knowing that this is the target audience and this is where people usually hang out. Second one, the most important one, which is leverage your network. Often startups and all of us keep waiting for the right product, for a better product to eventually showcase to your network. But be fearless, and there's no better way than to start in your network, because they will give you the right feedback. You can always go back to them if you're able to show your journey about how you've built the product.
Yeah, I second what Ankita is saying. It is very important that you leverage your network. Take a very hard look at your network and reach out to them. Do not hesitate to fail.
The third one, understand what are the complementary businesses or associations or places where you could partner with. For example, Flixbus partnered with student organizations and universities to offer special promotions, because in the beginning they realized that their main audience was students. Or let's take a B2B example of UiPath. It actually partnered with consulting firms to offer joint solutions and services. They realized a lot of their customers were actually approaching consulting firms to talk about a solution. So a partnership made sense.
I can agree to that. When we launched our program or services here at Sleepy's, we also partnered together with other non-profit organizations that were engaging with our core customer cohort to increase the awareness of this particular disease. And this allowed us to turbocharge in reaching to our end customer with our unique solution.
The fourth one, which is, I think, super essential these days, which is create content. Now, don't create content talking about your product. Instead, create content that truly creates value for your audience. Understand what is it that people are seeking on their journey of different pain points they have, and create content that is adding value to them. Content is usually a very time-consuming exercise, but rewarding in the long term. Hence, even more important to figure out what kind of content or space you want to take to be able to build that content.
I again agree with what you're highlighting here, Ankita. We are living in a world where there are a ton of contents out there, and hence it is very, very important that you focus on building content that can bring true value to your potential customers. At Sleepy's, we focus on our deep domain expertise and our access to the medical and the clinical ecosystem to democratize the access to this knowledge and accelerate the awareness of different diseases and how Sleepy's is helping them.
The next one is about creating a community. Invest in building a community. Even if it's small, even if the community is only 50 members, but those members will still remain loyal and will support you in the long term. I have an example from one of the companies that I worked with in my initial years, which was Unilever. We used to have a hair care brand called Sunsilk. And we realized that women wanted to look beautiful, and that was the umbrella we took. And we actually launched a forum and a portal called Be Beautiful. Now, Be Beautiful was not about Sunsilk. It was a community where women used to talk to each other about various solutions, and from just talking about how do they solve for skin, hair, etc., it became a forum where women interacted and met each other. And because we had that community and that power of community, eventually getting to a product becomes an easy step. Another example is Salesforce. Salesforce has a women in tech community where they realize that women are big resellers for them. So they're focusing a lot on building a community of women, which is not really about Salesforce, but what connects people who are part of that community.
Very well said. We are still lacking in our company in this particular domain. And this is a work in progress for Sleepy's. But it's a very important aspect.
The next one is around attending relevant events. Face-to-face, even though sounds traditional, is still very powerful to help conversion. Face-to-face converts better than nothing else. More so for B2B companies than B2C companies. But an example could be find out the kind of events your target audience is attending. Maybe put up a stall there. Even if you don't want to put up a stall there, go attend, talk to your target consumer while you attend an offline event.
At Sleepy's, face-to-face events have been very, very valuable for all our B2B businesses. This is a very good opportunity to build relationship with your potential customers. And these relationships at a later stage translates into a solid business foundations. I always encourage to all the entrepreneurs, if you can attend events, please do. It can be at a different capacity. You always don't have to have a booth. Start with attending and talking.
The next one is use the influence of other people. Now, influencer marketing is not only about social media. It could be people who are influencers as maybe an owner of an association, owner of a community, or people who have large offline networks. It's important to build a relationship with an influencer than just have a transactional relationship. I'll give you an example. My first startup, which was about selling healthy snacks subscription. This was 10 years back, before influencer marketing was even popular. We reached out to food bloggers, popular fitness enthusiasts, chefs, and sent our products for trials. And we didn't get a response from every person who was an influencer, but if he sent 100 emails, then maybe 20 would reply and maybe 20 would try the product and then eventually be able to give feedback. Just this strategy created enough word of mouth to help us scale from 0 to 300 orders a day within 3 months of launch.
Amazing. Same I can talk about Sleepy's. We focused on talking to the key opinion leaders in the ecosystem, doctors that were leading this entire space of sleep apnea, and our relationship with them with the early days, taking their inputs, not only how we build our product, how we can improve that entire segment, but it also gave us inroads to our potential early other doctors who were now educated about our potential product, its launch, and started referring to their potential patients. And this has helped us turbocharge and make Sleepy's one of the biggest sleep apnea provider in Switzerland.
Moving to the next one, which is important for B2C startups, which is use marketplaces or other platforms to list your product or service. B2C is a lot about getting a lot of traffic for yourself, and in the beginning, building your own platform or getting enough traffic in your own platform takes time. Hence, it's important to leverage other platforms which have their existing user base. Now, that could be Amazon, Zalando, Local.ch, Google My Business, could be any relevant website or platform that is able to get you traffic of the right people. An example here could be Get Your Guide, which used affiliate marketing and local online travel agents to get enough backlinks and the initial traction of the right target audience. The next one is around leveraging press. Small, big, digital, offline, any press helps you build credibility.
At Sleepy's, we have used this particular channel extensively to reach to our end customer. This was a strong, or let's say a very integral part of our go-to-market strategy. and we launched our product together with some of the big media outlets in Switzerland. And this has helped us gain credibility in the market, bring more curiosity in our potential customers to come and try our product. And I would also encourage potential entrepreneurs who are thinking about the GTM to not discount this particular channel and really take a good look at this.
Next, and again, super important, testimonials and reviews. Reviews help with two things. First, it gives you good feedback for you to iterate your product, especially in early phases, but even later on. And second, it helps build trust. Every review helps build trust. So the idea is, how do you build an engine for your B2C company which encourages people to write reviews? I think all in all, two very important tips for B2C startups, which is limit your channels in the go-to-market and initial growth phase. Even if you feel social media is relevant for you, then pick one social media channel and go heavy on the same. Prioritization is key. The second important tip, have a strong brand story. Know your why and who for every single channel. And the only way to do that is through hundreds of consumer interviews, observing consumer behavior, and obsessing about your consumers and customers.
Customer testimonials and reviews are very, very important. We always thought this can add a lot of value, and we saw that in real life when we rolled out our product. However, as I mentioned early on, we also leveraged press quite a lot to reach our customer. And when we were getting a ton of customer testimonials and reviews, we also offered our customers an option that would they be open to come and talk to the press directly about our product. It was a serendipity. We had the courage. We just went out. What bad would happen? They would just decline us. As any other startup, we are not afraid to fail. We went ahead. We did it. And we got patients coming out, talking about the problem and how they were happy with our offering. And these particular outreach coming directly from our customers were the most important or profitable channel of Sleepy's. As of today, there is nothing that beats a customer openly coming and talking about your product.
Actually, that's an interesting twist. That's the best kind of product validation you can get, which is, using the customer testimonial and that marrying it with a channel which people inherently trust.
Exactly.
So I think that's max of trust, which is the best for every business, and that's what every business wants to be.
This came with a bottle of wine and chocolate. You can go beyond, and this is what, okay, as you continue to deliver true value, your customer will continue to love us, and that literally made me cry. It's the highest level of reward that I could ever ask for, what we have built.
Of course, yes.